now to talk about political development. The Electoral Commission has officially confirmed that it is revoking the certificates of close to 17 political parties which do not have regional and national presence. The parties include, for instance, the United Progressive Party, formed and led by Kumasi-based Kwesi Adai Odike. Of course, we do know that some more parties which will suffer this fate include the Democratic Freedom Party, DFP, which is formed by Dr. Obed Yao Asamoah. There's also the national, some other parties, such as the People's Action Party, which is formed by Kwesi Busmuro, and others that may be suffering this fate. Obviously, the list goes on and on. But why is the Electoral Commission imposing this? And let's just roll onto your screens now for you to get that clear picture of the political parties involved. So I was talking about UFP, I was talking about the Democratic People's Party, the United Development System Party, and also we have Every Ghanaian Living Everywhere Party, we have Yes People's Party, YPP, and there's the United Ghana Movement. Beyond that as well, the Democratic Freedom Party, DFP, and the New Vision Party are some of the parties that may be off our books, and the Ghana Democratic Republican Party. And let's talk about the last set. For instance, GNP, which is the Ghana National Party, will be off the books. Power Unity Party, United Progressive Party, Reform, Patriotic Democrats, and then we have the People's Action Party, the United Renaissance Party, National Reform Party, and the United Love Party. These are all the 17 political parties that may be off our books, and of course the Electoral Commission has confirmed that. So what are the implications of this, especially now that there's that push for us to have a third force and also to entrench our multi-party democracy? Joining us via Zoom now is Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Siribok Kweku. Thank you for your time for here on the Pulse. A little later as well, we'll be speaking to Kwesi Busmuro. His party, the People's Action Party, may be track of the books. But let me start off with you, Dr. Siribok Kweku. What's informing, first of all, the decision of the Electoral Commission to take off these 17 political parties? The belief is that our democracy is burgeoning and that the EC has to support these quote-unquote lesser-known political parties to thrive. What's your take?
Brother, good afternoon. And
Dr. Siribok Kweku, if you can hear me, I was just asking earlier about the decision, the reason actually accounting for this move. It appears that we've lost Dr. Siribok Kweku there. Yes, Dr. Kweku, if you can hear me, we lost you briefly. Can you just take the point for us again?
Yes, what I'm saying is that we have been in these democratic parties since 1992. That's about 30 years now. And the law is clear that if you form a political party, you should abide by the political party laws. So we have the Political Party Act 2000 Act 574. That's governing the activities of the political parties. And one of the main requirements is that they should be operating offices at the districts, regions, and the national. So we have given them 30 years, and whether some of them are not complying with the law. So we have decided that those who are not complying, 30 years is enough for them to put their houses in order. So let's check those who are not complying with the law.
Talk about into this final decision. Have you extensively engaged the political parties involved?
Some of them cannot even be located. So there was an APAC meeting that we raised this issue. And Ghanaians, we have always been complaining about the number of political parties in our system. Currently, before the cancellation, we were having 28 political parties, and we have about 15 new parties who are also trying to join the wagon. So we want every party to go by the political party laws. So we went to the field to inspect the political party offices, and the 17 were found not to be complying with the law with respect to operating the political party offices.
Yes, I'm asking about the issue of engagement because we've heard from some of the political parties already and their founders who claim that, for instance, you're being selective in this approach and that they can point to some political parties, for instance, that do not necessarily meet the 2/3 requirement or, I mean, presence in every region requirement.
I thought they were going to challenge that they have the offices and they are being cancelled, but they are comparing with others. They talk about them first, because we have other groups who by our findings have made the effort and we are also dealing with them. So there's to follow soon.
I need a bit of a clarity on that. Is it the case that you're giving leeway to some political parties? Is that what you're saying?
The one we went to the first, the result shows we categorize the results into three. The first group certified all the conditions. The second group certified part of the conditions, but we said that let's look at what we can do to them. Then the third group did not at all. So those who did not at all are those that have been cancelled. And then before we even cancel them, we publish issue in the dailies that these parties were found not to be having offices. So we gave them 2 weeks to tell us why the party should not be cancelled. And they did not come out with any acceptable candidates for their cancelled. The other follow, and when you get there, you also hear from us. So they should talk about their parties, not the other parties.
Dr. Kweko, that's the issue about the financial challenge that has come up. The fact that some of these lesser-known political parties may not have the standing as, of course, the two major ones, the NDC and the NPP. How is the EC intending to... intending to support...
We are talking about the law. We are talking about the law. As of now, the law says that they should be having offices in the district, regions, and national. And that's what we're talking about it. So whether the financial issue and the rest, the law doesn't talk about that.
So what's the next step? Is there any hope for a political party, for instance, that wants to get things right and has reached out to you after there's official notice? Are the doors still open to them to try and correct the mistakes, perhaps, that they've made in the past?
For that, I can't speak to that. What I know is that the Commission has taken a decision, and I'm just explaining. So the Commission has not come up with any other alternative way, so I cannot speak to that.
How about the political parties that are remaining on the books now? The belief is that they've also been infringing on certain requirements of our Political Parties Act. For instance, some of them are found of not submitting their audits and all of that. These are matters that...
I said we categorize the parties into three. So we have finished with them.
Sorry, Dr. Kweko, I'm having some difficulties hearing you. If you could repeat the point again.
What I said was that we categorize the parties into three based on our findings. Let me say that the law talks about three main issues that the political parties should be doing. The first of it is that they should be holding constituency, regional, and national elections under the supervision of the Commission. That's one. The second one is that financially they should be submitting audited accounts and other financial reports to us. Then the third one is the functionality of them with respect to the party offices. And now our concentration is on the party offices. As I said, this is the first, the first blow that has come. The other blows will be coming.
And the way forward, we know that this is just part of a complete reform that the Commission is rolling out to sanitize the system ahead of the 2024 elections. Are we likely to see any other reforms ahead of the major exercise in 2024?
I didn't get you, so can you come
I was
again?
just indicating that I guess this is part of a broader reform, a raft of measures taking place before the main elections in 2024. I just wanted to know if there are some more policy measures in the pipeline which the EC intends to roll out before the general
I
elections.
didn't have said. Are you referring to the supervision of the party activities?
Yes,
The
precisely.
line is bad.
Precisely, yes. Precisely, Dr. Kweku. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So
Yeah.
like I said, yes, like I said, if you look at what we are working on now, is with respect to the party offices. And I said, the law mandates that they should have national offices. And you and I would agree. How can you say that you are a party in the country and you don't have a national office? Then you are also supposed to have offices at the various regions. Can you be operating without regional offices? And the third one is that they should be also having offices in the districts. But now with this, the emphasis is on the national and regional offices. That is, like I said, when we went to the field, we have come out with the report, and we have categorized the report into three. So the first group is those that we are dealing with, the 17. Then we have the other second group that is going to follow soon. Then it is only one group that satisfies all the conditions.
And finally, as the Electoral Commission, do you take responsibility for allowing this to fester? Because we had as many as, I guess, 27 political parties the last time we checked on the website of the Electoral Commission. You admit complicity in this, the fact that you've not enforced the laws enough?
No, starting from 92, the view of the commission was that we need to encourage democracy. So let's allow them to go. That's why we were not cracking a whip. But for 30 years, all those who want to go will have gone. That's why we started cracking a whip.
So what you're saying now is that our democracy is that matured for all parties to have their books right?
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, but if you look at some of the, let's talk about, and Dr. Kweku, if I could just coming at this point, look at, for instance, the People's Action Party. This is a political party that spent barely, I guess, less than 5 years of being in formation. Same about some new ones that have also come on stream. They are not the same as, for instance, the NDC and the New Patriotic Party, which may have been formed in 1992 at the start of our fourth Republican framework. So you agree that they may not be starting off at the same time?
No, the law does not talk of when you were formed. And you, one thing that it is a requirement that even before you are registered, even for national certificate, you should have a national office. You should have a regional office, and you have district offices. So whether you were from today, tomorrow, once you have been given certificate, that means that you provided offices for us. So what are the offices that you use to register? If you were registered yesterday.
Interesting points you're raising there. Dr. Stribo, just hold on for us briefly so we can get, of course, to hear from some of the political parties. I guess you may want to respond to some of the concerns they have. Kwesi Busumuru, for instance, is with the People's Action Party. Mr. Busumuru, you've heard from the Director of Electoral Services at the EC. He says that it's about the law. They're implementing what it is that the law has said. But you claim that you have a genuine certificate to operate and that you have all your offices dotted across the country. Kwesi Busumuru, can you hear me? Kindly unmute so we can hear the point you're making. Mr. Busumuru, can you hear me? Kindly unmute for us so we can hear the point you're making, Mr. Busumuru.
Hello?
Yes, I can
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Well, cherished listeners and Dr. Kweku, right. As a PAP founder, this is my certificate that was signed by the Electoral Commissioner.
Just take it. Yeah, right. Okay, right.
Right. And this was the provisional certificate that was issued prior to the full certificate being issued. Dr. Sibo Kweku is talking about is the law, is the law, is the law. When I applied to form my own party, according to the CI, they were supposed to issue me my provisional license in 6 weeks. It took 2 years, which means they broke the law. So I'm surprised that now they're throwing the book at us. And the reason why they're doing all these things is instructions from above.
I mean,
because
the claims you're making now, Mr. Busumura, I guess you can't provide evidence, so let's not go there.
Because if you look at...
Mr. Busumura, I would appreciate it if you withdraw the statement you just made. We don't have evidence to what you're saying. I don't think we can accept that on this platform.
I'm not going to withdraw because I'm stating a fact. The EC were appointed by the ruling party. The EC were appointed by the ruling party.
The Constitution, Dr. Seribo, just comes
number
to
two.
Yes, Dr.
Number
Seribo.
Before the EC started chasing these smaller parties, they went to Parliament. And Parliament, who are the majority? We have a hang Parliament.
But the point is,
and they
you do appreciate, I mean, I don't want this to be a controversy, but Kwesi Busumura, you do know that per the Constitution, the Electoral Commission is supposed to be independent. So regardless of the appointing authority, just like the Office of the Special Prosecutor, there is supposed to be an independent constitutional body. So I would appreciate if we just move on to deal with the crux of the matters. Do you have presence in all the regions and what it is that the law requires, that you be present in all regions across the country? Do you have that now? I guess that's what we're talking about.
Yes, I have offices in the 16, it was even the 10 regions before they extended it to 16 regions, right? And most of them, the lease, about 3 of them, the lease has expired and we're renewing the lease. And talking about, he said something about we should have the state of our account. I submitted my state of accounts to the EC on 18th October 2020.
For now, let's concentrate on the offices.
Yeah.
I mentioned the accounts as one of the requirements, but I said that this decision is basically based on offices. Now, if he's saying that he has offices, JoyNews is everywhere. He should give you the locations for you to verify.
Okay, yeah, and so that question is facing you, Mr. Busumura. Mr. Busumura, where are your offices? I mean, do you have the list of your offices? Are you sure that you are represented even across the country in the first place?
Yes, and I went there with my
So provide the evidence to the Electoral Commission. Why is that so hard for you to do?
I've already provided the evidence to the Electoral Commission. I'm not in the Electoral Commission right now. Dr. Kweku is sitting there. He can go and get my file, and the addresses are all listed in there. That's the reason why they issued me the license to form a political party. It's all a witch hunt.
Dr. Kweku, I'll come to you. Dr. Kweku, just hold on for me briefly. I'll come to you. Let's hear from him, and then I'll give you the opportunity.
It's all a witch hunt. They failed miserably, and they tried everything, not for the smaller parties to form alliance, to challenge their greedy ways, their failed policies.
Okay, where's the evidence? Back to the issue.
So, I have my offices, and meanwhile, in this day and age, right, these laws about having 2/3 of offices all over Ghana. We use Zoom, we use internet to do businesses all over the world. So why do we still keep this archaic law about having 2/3 is about 181 offices all around Ghana? It doesn't make sense. We live in a technological age that you don't need offices. Sometimes I sit here and I can work from home to America. So do you want to say that we're going to continue this way about having 2/3 of offices all over the world, all over Ghana? It does not make sense. It's all a witch hunt. And it's about time that Dr. Kweku, Your issue credibility, as far as I'm concerned, it's zero. It's zero. Because right now I'm so pissed off. It's beyond reason. It's beyond reason.
Are you, I mean,
I
paying?
even wrote a letter.
Are you paying that you've lost your
EC.
license?
This is my letter to the EC asking for extension. October 18, appeal for party offices extension, right? They threw all these things away. And according to the laws that Dr. Kweku is saying, we can appeal. And I have appealed.
Okay, so what's because for the sake of our audience, we need to know what's in that document. So which document are you referring to now? And what's contained in that document? The document you're referring to right now.
It's appeal for office extension because I told you in the beginning that some of my lease has expired.
Yes, so share that with us so I can pull that to Dr. Siribo Kweku, who's on with us.
I said, this is addressed to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. 18th October 2022. Dear Madam, appeal for party offices extension. People Action Party extend our warmest greetings and goodwill and hope. The good Lord is keeping you. I will draw to a publication in both the Daily Graphic and the Daily Guide, warning political parties which has not fully complied with Electoral Commissioners Political Party Act, Section 15. 1 Act 574/2000. As a political party, it was part of our agenda to furnish the commission with the rest of the party offices nationwide this year and 2023. However, economic hardship has impacted all of us negatively. We please wish to ask the commission for extension time up to the first quarter of 2023 to finish the rest of our party offices. We are currently having our national offices in Accra.
Kwesi Bosumo, are you still with us? Okay.
I think Takrady.
Right. So the extension you were asking for is basically on the issue of economic hardship, and that you admit that indeed you are in default of the law.
I'm not in default of the law.
Yeah, because you don't have the offices across the country.
The party screwed up the whole system. The government, everything is down. Even Joy TV, Joy FM, you're all struggling because of the failed policies of this government. So whatever they've come out with, it's all wishing. They want to get rid of us.
But you're telling us that economic challenge, Mr. Bosumo, you're saying economic challenges are the reason for which you cannot set up across the country. It has nothing to do with the law.
No, what I'm saying is we need the extension to renew our leases and invite them back again to look at them. Pure and simple.
Democracy is expensive. You should, I mean, don't you have members across the country? Don't you pay dues? How are you managing your dues as a political party?
I have dues. Look, if you look at my financial reports, all the money we've taken from dues, they're all here, black and white. All here, black and white.
Yeah, and so why not use that money to pay for the offices? You failed to use that opportunity.
No, the offices, during the 2020 election, all the offices that we acquired or we leased, right? We made sure it was 2 years, somewhere 3 years, even in Kumasi, Joso, just next door to St. Louis. I have an office there. That was for 4 years. So EC cannot tell me that I don't have, like I said to you, I have offices in 16 regions. The district offices that we acquired around 2020, November, right, before I was disqualified, they are also, the lease has expired. So my argument is, this day and age, we don't need 181 offices, which is the 2/3, which is the 2/3. Because look at us, we are talking on Zoom, we are transacting business all over Ghana, all over the world. So this thing about we should still maintain we've broken the law. Meanwhile, the EC, they've broken the law left, right, and center.
Okay, all right.
They've
Just
broken the
hold
law
on.
so many times.
Right, just hold on for me briefly. Dr. Sribokwegu, a lot of concerns from the PAP, for instance. They are asking for an extension. At least they were before you went ahead to crack the whip. Why are you not being considerate to these political parties which say that they are reeling under the effects of an economic crisis?
Yes, Dr. Kweku.
We were showing you the certificate. We are not disputing the certificate. When they applied for registration, he knew the requirements. He certified the requirement with officer, and that's why we gave him the certificate.
All right.
So the certificates are not under dispute. So the certificate doesn't come in. Now, the law is that he should be operating the offices. It doesn't mean that get the office, once you get the certificate, you collapse the office. It doesn't say so. So what we are saying is that by the time that we went to the field in May this year, they have the offices. Now he's confirming by saying that we are now in a modernity that we can do things on online the rest. As far as the issue is concerned, the law doesn't recognize that. The law says it should be operating physical office, not
the law can be changed
office.
by Dr. Kweku and his
whether the law is
committee.
primitive, whether the law is whatever, that is what the law we are working with. So I was thinking that he was going to challenge us. That there is no law like that.
Just hold on. Just hold on. I mean, just hold on. Let's hear him make the point. Mr. Busumuru, just hold on. Let him make the point, and then I'll get back to you. So, Dr. Sribokwegu, yeah.
Then he's accepting the fact that he doesn't have the offices. That's why he has not talking of online offices and the rest. But that's not what the law says. The law is talking of physical offices.
But he sent a petition to your office, which is read to us, indicating that the effects of the economy is beginning to bite at, I mean, not just for him, but his other colleagues who have to dole out cash to rent the places. Yes.
Then the effects of the economy shall allow me to go and steal. So has he broken the law or not? So the issue of being influenced and we have lost our credibility and the rest, that's not what we are talking about.
Yeah,
we are talking about the law.
But he's saying he sent the locations. He sent the locations indicating when the tenure, of course, or the tenureship ended.
Fortunately,
yeah.
There are a couple of regional offices. Joy, you can do this. Let me give you the existing offices. And I believe even today you can confirm whether such offices are there or not. You can confirm that. So that you will know who is there.
That's why I'm giving you sphincters. I'm giving you one in Kumasi, one in the Upper East, Upper West. We have one in Brahafo, and the other one in Savannah.
You have submitted that list to the EC, so allow me to also put the question across so we can all be on the same page.
That's correct.
Yeah, Dr. Kweku, so the issue about the list of where you can locate the offices, is it the case that when you went onto the grounds, you could not locate the offices of these parties?
We went to the field, and we could not even attend for one regional office. I myself went to Western North and Ashanti region. I didn't see any office.
They are all there. The Ashanti region office, you know the St. Cyprian's Catholic Church?
No, but you're talking about the Ashanti region. He's talking about the Western region. Okay. Let's try and shape up this conversation. Dr. Kweku, so one more issue. The calls about the reform in the law itself. The belief is that that's the way to go, and that technology has advanced. We should be able to do business regardless of location, isn't it?
Listen, are we talking of the current law or future law?
Possibly. You are the EC, at least.
So now we are dealing with the current law. And the law I'm giving you, Act 574/2000. That's the law we are working with. So unless he's telling us that we have broken the law, we are telling that he has broken the law. So if there's any evidence, he also take us back.
I have not broken the law.
Are you ready to take on these political parties if they decide to take you on to the court?
That's why we first published it in the papers. So, and today's papers, they are also there. So they should take us on, and if they are able to contradict what they're saying, then we are there. Like I told you, I myself went to Western North and Ashanti region. I didn't see the office that you're talking about. So if you're expecting that we want to take us on, why not? Because we went to the field. It's not that we sat in our office ahead of it to do it. I myself
Dr. Kweku,
went to the
Dr.
field
Kweku,
with my team.
Dr. Kweku, you know the NDC current election, right? They owe the EC over 100 and something thousand. Okay?
Please, let's talk about your offices. We forgot about the parties. Let's talk about your offices.
Okay. Gentlemen, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you, Kwesi Busmuru, and also to Dr. Sribo Kweku, Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission. Quite a heated conversation there. You're still with us here on The Pulse. When we return, we'll talk about the World Cup.